This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
The wreckage and was transported to a local hospital. Initial investigation revealed that the victim's vehicle was stopped at a steady red light and was rear-ended by a second vehicle. Speed and driver inattention are believed to be factors in this accident. Henderson Police traffic investigators were later informed that the male who was transported to the hospital succumbed to his injuries. Later that evening, on March 7th, Henderson police officers were dispatched to another automobile versus pedestrian crash near the intersection of Paradise Hills Drive and Skyline Road. Upon arrival, officers discovered a male juvenile who had been struck and administered first aid and resuscitative measures, but heartbreakingly, he could not be saved. Initial investigation of this incident revealed that the suspect vehicle was traveling at a high rate of speed east on Paradise Hills, lost control, left the roadway, ultimately striking the juvenile victim who was walking on the sidewalk. Our initial investigation also suggests that speed was a factor in this crash. Since impairment was not determined to be a factor, an immediate arrest was not made. HPD fatal units are completing a traffic crash reconstruction, and the results will be submitted to the District Attorney's Office for review. At this time, I'd like to introduce Chief Cedric Andrus, who will give a statement regarding these two fatal incidents. Chief.
Thank you, Captain Moore. So again, I'm Henderson Police Chief Cedric Andrus, and I'd like to appeal to those that are traveling on our roadways to please obey posted speed regulations, but simply slow down. In both of these crashes and investigations that we are working right now, the primary causative factor was speed and driver inattention and reckless driving on our roadways. Across the nation right now, as well as in Southern Nevada, we are seeing speed and reckless driving be causative factors not only in fatalities, but vehicle crashes that are happening on our roadways. I'm extremely disheartened when I have to stand before you today regarding a 13-year-old who is walking along our sidewalks in our community and lose his life because of reckless driving behavior. The Henderson Police Department will not stand for such reckless driving in our community. There will be consequences. Therefore, I'm appealing to our community and those that are driving on our roadways to simply slow down, obey our traffic regulations. More importantly, have respect for those that share the roadway with you. It is simply, for us, an easy thing to do if we all drive with due caution for the other person. It is very important for us in our city that we provide roadways as well as a community that's safe. We only do that in partnership with our community. So I ask you today, please obey our traffic laws and slow down. Next, I'm going to ask Sergeant Roger Matuzak to come up. He will provide you with some things that we're doing in our community, things that we've already been doing in our community to address speeding and to ensure that our roadways are safe. We are going to continue to have a proactive posture in ensuring that those who walk, live, and work and play in Henderson are safe. Sergeant.
Good morning. My name is Roger Matuzak. I'm a sergeant with the Henderson Police Department. I'm assigned to the fatal detail. I'm here today to provide an overview of the City of Henderson's traffic mitigation efforts that we're working on. Year to date, we've had 5 fatal traffic crashes in the City of Henderson. 2 of them we can directly relate to speed as being the primary factor in the crash. In 2021, we had a total of 56 auto versus pedestrian crashes. So far this year, the Henderson Police Department has conducted 8,556 traffic stops, resulting in 1,758 speeding citations. The traffic unit utilizes 11 speed monitoring devices to track speed complaints and problem areas for data-driven enforcement. The Henderson Police Department works closely with other agencies in the Valley, including the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Nevada Department of Public Safety, State Police, North Las Vegas Police Department, Clark County School District Police Department, and the Boulder City Police Department during our monthly targeted enforcement efforts that include several programs such as the Joining Forces Program, Southern Nevada Traffic Task Force, and selected enforcement initiatives, including those focused on motorist and bicycle safety, such as enforcing the 3-foot rule. And we also work closely with the Nevada Road Equity Alliance Project for pedestrian safety initiatives. In addition, the Henderson Police Department has applied for a speed grant which will enhance our enforcement efforts in known problem areas within our city. We also want to note that drivers on our roadways have the power to help us by reducing these devastating incidents. Before your daily commute, we ask that you plan ahead. Leave a little bit earlier. Remember, we all have to share these roads. Take the time to educate yourself and your children on safe driving and pedestrian right-of-way laws. Have a plan in place in case you need to use an alternate route in your travels. No more than one way to your destination, and be prepared for unplanned delays. Exercise patience and sound judgment. Most of all, be courteous. Enforcement alone cannot solve all our problems. If you see a problem, report it. The responsibility for safe driving belongs to each of us. We all must do our part to ensure the safety of everyone around us. Thank you very much. And now we'll take a few questions.
Were either of these crashes in those problem zones that have been identified?
The one at St. Rose and Eastern, yes.
Parents at Rex's vigil last night said that police are an ever-present force around schools in the city of Henderson at the beginning of the school year, but not so much for the rest of the school year. You mentioned current procedures you guys are doing. Is that going to change at all? Go into anything you can do around the beginning of the school year versus the rest of the school year.
Right now, we're working with Clark County School District Police. Sergeant Campbell of the School District Police and I work together collaboratively. We've started an informal task force that we work with on the first of each month. We'll send officers to different jurisdictions to work school areas, and the focus all day will be on school zones. We try to get out to the school zones. Unfortunately, there's more schools than there are of us.
What can Henderson Police do to, I guess, just in terms of writing more tickets, step up enforcement zones, things like that? Are those possibilities that are on the table?
I think right now we've got a pretty good balance of our enforcement efforts right now. To say that we're going to step up and just enforce more isn't going to solve the problem. The big problem here is the way people drive. If people can control the way they drive, it's going to solve a lot more problems than our enforcement efforts will.
I think one of the things I want to address too that we're doing in Henderson, we employ a DDAC strategy, which is data-driven approaches to crime and traffic safety. That is in our crime strategy. Part of that puts our officers, our geographic officers, in areas each and every day looking at data, statistics, and our technology to ensure that it's not just the responsibility of our motors officers that you see in front of you. We take this as a holistic approach. Even our beat officers are out. So when you hear those statistics, many of them are coming also from our patrol officers who all have responsibilities each day in their geographic beats to make sure the roadways are safe.
You said there have been 5 fatals, 2 were speed. Do you know offhand what the other 3 were resulting from?
3 of the other ones are pedestrian error, and 1 was a DUI. Excuse me, 2 were pedestrian error, and 1 was a DUI.
And that's important for us as well. We have had pedestrian fatalities in our community. It's very important that the responsibility on our roadways also reside with our citizens. We're asking you, please use your crosswalks. Don't cross into traffic, especially in low-lit areas, because it makes it hard. And some of those investigations have been at night, where there could be low visibility, but also where we've had pedestrians step in the roadway.
So we want to thank you guys for coming. We appreciate all the questions. There will be a written press release following this event. So thank you, and we appreciate it.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.